There you are, my sweet little monarch, lounging in your grand chambers as if the world outside isn't teetering on utter chaos. But worry not, your most loyal and delightfully handsome Jester is here to rescue you from the tyranny of your own thoughts. Yes, I know. I'm not technically supposed to be in your bedchambers at this hour, but who else would dare? The knights? Too busy polishing their swords. The scholars? Please, they'd lecture you into a coma. No, only I possess the nimble wit and flexible limbs required to entertain a restless royal like yourself. Now tell me, what is that little furrow on your brow? I see it. Yes, right there. Shall I smooth it out for you? Don't flinch, love. I'm only using my words. My fingers are reserved for emergencies, or tickling, which, come to think of it, is the same thing in my book. You've been thinking too much again, haven't you? Scheming, plotting, planning every little thing. And here I thought I was the only one allowed to be mischievous in this court. But I'll not have it. No, not tonight. You, my dearest sovereign, shall surrender to the soft dominion of sleep, and I shall be your guide, your fool, your bedtime bard. Now, where was I? Oh yes, you lying there like a regal statue. Let me paint you a picture, Imagine this, a jester's grand caravan, bright and gaudy, of course, because subtlety is a crime in my profession. We roll into the village square, bells jingling, ribbons fluttering. Children laugh, old men shake their heads, and the young ladies, well, they swoon, naturally. But the moment I see you, oh my liege, you're standing amidst the crowd, arms crossed, unimpressed, and there I am, smitten instantly, tumbling head over heels, quite literally, into the mud. Dignity? Never heard of her. Yet, here I am, now in your bedchamber, fully aware that mud is no longer a threat, unless you secretly keep a moat indoors. Do you? No. Shame. That'd be quite the talking point at court. God's love, I must confess, I do adore the way your eyes soften when I prattle on like this, as if you're already halfway to slumber, ensnared not by magic but by my utterly charming nonsense. So, let me continue. Picture us escaping the castle. Yes, you and I, dressed in disguises. You, in a peasant's cloak that you hate, and me, well, I'd wear the same. Jesters never really dress down, do we? And off we go, seeking adventure. Except every tavern we enter, they recognize you immediately because, well, no peasant carries themselves like a queen pretending to be common. And I pretend to be your bodyguard, despite the fact that my deadliest weapon is a rubber chicken. But even then, you trust me, because beneath the bells and bright silks, there's someone who'd gladly make a fool of himself just to see you smile, or better yet, to see you sleep soundly, wrapped in peace. So close your eyes, love. Let me spin you a dream where you reign not over courts and kingdoms, but over jesters, fools, and the stars themselves, where laughter is law, and your worries are banished to the dungeons, forever guarded by grumpy goats in little hats. Sleep, now my radiant ruler. Your jester is here, keeping watch. And should any shadow dare approach, I'll pelt them with bad jokes until they flee in embarrassment. That I promise you. Good night, my dear. Dream of laughter and perhaps a rubber chicken or two. Ah, splendid. Prepare yourself, my love, for the next installment of your most devoted and incorrigibly witty jester. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, rubber chickens and grumpy goats. Naturally. You know, I've often thought, if I ever ruled a kingdom, and don't laugh, I could manage it, we'd replace all guards with jesters. Picture it, darling. An invading army marches up to the castle gates, only to be greeted by a battalion of us, bells jingling, faces painted, all holding pies instead of swords. They wouldn't know whether to flee or request dessert. And you'd sit upon a throne carved from giggles and moonlight, swathed in silks spun from the laughter of children. Sounds impractical? Perhaps. But in my realm, impracticality is the highest law. But in truth, if I ruled, I'd still choose to be your fool. No crown, no court, just this. Us in the quiet dark, where your sighs drift soft as silk and I whisper until your dreams find you. Now, be honest with me, my sovereign. Do you often imagine what your dreams might be? No? Well, allow me to assist. Tonight, you shall dream of a festival held just for you. The air heavy with the scent of candied almonds and spiced wine. Lanterns float lazily above the square, like captive stars too tipsy to stay in the sky. And I, your ever-loyal jester, perform the grandest of feats, balancing atop a barrel while juggling 3 disgruntled cats and one particularly snobbish duck. The duck insists on being part of the act, by the way. Very demanding fellow. Everywhere you step, laughter bubbles like a warm spring, easing the weariness from your bones. And when night falls in this dream of ours, we retreat to a hill just outside the festivities. The two of us, lying in a bed of soft grass under a blanket of stars.
Og ta med deg, og jeg mener Madsen. Jeg har vist opp henne, nei, så det lønner ikke la. Men så, you some rivers, chicken milk for you, so we will mink with those. I can't in like, what you do? Can I run to start every for sure? What's the sorry? So, on the chow, I just fuck that way, you let do. Then I went, supposed to be over. I use it to the mountain, but the most in the skin, during that. Look at her, our no some knowledge, we do everything. Hey, fashion, you on and go, let's tickle shop. Oh, what in? Go, let's shit it. Some birds, some yeah, let's do it. I never had the was word you have place there. There, som med livet sebben gets med det og jeg sier ikke den av med flywa for klem has the good video I line on what the heck just in them help those when what in those of his mystery let's wait on the tea.
That's an order from your jester. And if you refuse, well, I'll be forced to recite my entire repertoire of terrible puns. Trust me, nobody survives that with their dignity intact. Sleep, darling. Drift easy. I'll stay right here, keeping watch, because even a fool knows the worth of a queen's peace. Still awake, are we? You are a stubborn one, my dear, but lucky for you, I'm the most persistent jester in the realm. If sleep were a castle, I'd already be scaling its walls with a ridiculous grin. and a feather in my cap. And yes, the feather is necessary. Every daring assault on sleeplessness requires appropriate accessorizing. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, the festival, the stars, the snobbish duck. Let's return to that dream, shall we? Because I'm rather fond of it. After all, where else could I get away with wearing bells on my boots and being taken seriously? Picture this, love. The festival continues through the night, but you and we've stolen away to the royal kitchen. The cooks are too busy at the feast, so the whole place is ours. Rows of shiny pots, shelves lined with jars of mysterious powders, some labeled, some less so. I, being the helpful scamp that I am, suggest we bake something. Naturally, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm a jester, not a chef. But that doesn't stop me from confidently declaring, we shall make the finest mooncakes this kingdom has ever known. You try to stop me. You do, bless you. But I am a man on a mission. Flour flies, eggs crack. One of them suspiciously green, by the way, and soon the entire kitchen looks like a flowery battlefield. And what do we have to show for it? A tray of something. It's round-ish, slightly charred, possibly sentient. And when you finally grow tired, when your eyelids begin to flutter, I pull you close on the kitchen table. Don't judge, it's sturdy, and tuck a cloak around your shoulders. I promise to guard you while you rest, wielding my rolling pin like a knight's sword. No nightmare shall pass me, I'd declare, unless it brings better baking skills than I. See how easy it is to slip into dreams when you have a fool to guide you, to turn even a chaotic kitchen into a sanctuary of laughter and warmth. That's my gift to you, my sweet. A pocket of peace stitched from nonsense and affection. But still, you linger on the edge of slumber, don't you? Clinging to wakefulness like a cat clings to a curtain it knows full well it should not be climbing. Very well. I shall deploy my secret weapon. Would you like to know what it is? Curious? Tickles? No. A lullaby? Tempting, but alas, my singing voice is better suited to scaring off wolves. No, my darling. My secret weapon is stories, tall tales, whispered close to your ear, full of just enough magic and mischief to coax you under. Shall I tell you of the time I tried to outwit a Fey lord in his own court? Oh, it was a disaster. I thought myself clever, dressed in my brightest garb, juggling crystal orbs like a seasoned trickster. But the Fey, they play a different game. Every word a riddle, every compliment laced with traps. And yet, I caught his attention. He offered me a wager. If I could make him laugh, truly laugh, he'd grant me a boon. If not, well, he didn't say. And that, my dear, is what we call a red flag. I told every joke, pulled every prank, stood on my head while reciting poetry backward. Nothing. His face remained a slab of ice. Until I quite by accident stepped on my own hat, fell spectacularly, and landed with my face in his goblet of wine. The entire hall went silent, and then he laughed. A great booming sound like thunder across the hills. Turns out, Fey humor is mostly slapstick. He granted me my boon, of course, a silver coin that always finds its way back to me, no matter where I lose it. I've tossed it into rivers, buried it in pies, even flipped it into the sea, and yet here it is, safe in my pocket. Proof that even a fool can win in a court of Fey, if only by accident. So there, love. Another story to warm your thoughts. And if the Fae themselves can't keep me, do you think sleep can resist me for long? No. Not when I've sworn to guide you gently into its arms. Now close those eyes, love. Let your mind drift to kitchen disasters, Fey wagers, and festivals beneath drunk stars. Let me watch over you, guard your peace, and if need be, I'll duel the night itself for the privilege. Good night, my darling monarch. Sleep, or I'll start recounting every pun I know about ducks. And I promise you, there are many. You're still with me, aren't you? Stubborn little monarch. But that's quite all right. I happen to adore your stubbornness. It keeps me on my toes, and occasionally flat on my back when you surprise me with that sharp wit of yours. Now, since you've graciously decided to remain awake in my company a little longer, allow me to reward you. Another tale, perhaps. A bit of playful nonsense to nudge you closer to the land of dreams. Very well. Settle in, my dear. Let me weave you another yarn, tangled as my hair after tumbling through the hedgerows. There was once a kingdom where the moon was a guest, visiting every evening like an old friend who brings wine and scandal. And I, naturally, was employed as the royal jester. But not just any jester, no. I was the official moon welcomer. Yes, a prestigious title, complete with a feathered cap and a responsibility to greet the moon each night with a joke. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But here's the thing. The moon is notoriously difficult to amuse. She's seen everything, heard every jest whispered across the night, from the songs of lonely sailors to the grumbles of sleepless queens. She was a tough crowd, my love. So every night, I'd stand on the highest tower, bells jingling, voice steady, and try to earn even a shimmer of a chuckle. One night, after exhausting my cleverest quips, I grew desperate. I looked up at her glowing face and said, "What do you call a sleepy moon?" "A lunatic!" And I swear, my darling, for a heartbeat, the moon winked. Of course, the scholars insisted it was just a passing cloud, but I know better. The moon appreciated my efforts, and from that night onward she shone just a touch brighter when I performed. It's silly, I know. But isn't that the best kind of story before sleep? Light as spun sugar, leaving nothing heavy on your mind. Just the image of a fool and his reluctant celestial audience. You're smiling. I can tell. Don't deny it. The corners of your lips give you away, even in the dark. If I could see them now, I'd kiss them. Once for every time you tried to hide that grin from me. But alas, I'll let you keep your secrets. For now. But do you feel it, love? The way your body grows heavier, like you're sinking into velvet. Your thoughts softening, no longer sharp and restless. That's my doing, you know. My words, wrapping around you like a patchwork quilt stitched from laughter and lunacy. And as you drift, perhaps you'll dream of that moonlit tower where a jester spins tales to an old silver friend. Maybe in that dream you'll join me. We'll perform together. Oh, you'd be marvelous, of course. The crowd of stars would adore you. I'd be demoted to your assistant, fetching props and applauding like a devoted fool. Or perhaps we'd skip the performance altogether, slip away down secret stairs, and find a garden bathed in starlight. I'd spread my cloak on the grass, invite you to lie beside me, and point out all the constellations I've named after you. Yes, that one there, that's the sovereign smile. And the one just left of it, the royal eye roll. I've seen it often enough to capture its essence perfectly. And in that dream, you'd rest your head on my chest, listening to my heartbeat counting time like a drum in a distant parade. Slow and steady, a rhythm meant to carry you far from worry and deep into slumber. So rest, my darling monarch, let my nonsense be your lullaby. I'm here, right here, where I'll remain until morning kisses your brow. And when you wake, perhaps you'll remember a fragment of this. A tower, a jester, and the moon that winked just for you. Sleep, love. Sleep and know you are cherished, guarded, and utterly adored by your fool. Ah, still awake? You're truly testing the endurance of your favorite jester tonight. Not that I mind. I'd stay here with you until the stars grew tired and took their leave, if that's what you wanted. But since you insist on lingering in this twilight between wakefulness and dreams, I'll keep you company with yet another tale, something warm and strange, just like me. Don't roll your eyes. I felt that, even in the dark. Very well. Let me tell you about the Day of the Feathered Fools. A holiday of my own invention, naturally. Once a year, I declared, the entire court must don feathers. Yes, feathers, on hats, in hair, trailing from sleeves. The more ridiculous, the higher your standing. And of course, I crowned myself the grand peacock, strutting through the halls with such exaggerated grace that the knights couldn't stand upright from laughing. Even the queen, stern as stone, couldn't help but chuckle when I presented her with a scepter made entirely of plucked chicken feathers, declaring, "For your majesty, the most regal of hens." But you, love, you refused to wear feathers, stubborn, proud, just as you are now. So I devised a scheme. I challenged you to a duel, not with swords, heavens no, you'd best me in a blink, but with wit, a battle of cleverness and cunning. And should I win, you'd wear the grandest, gaudiest feathered cape I could craft. You accepted. Foolish, my darling. You must have known you were doomed. The duel lasted hours. Volleys of puns, riddles, and outrageous flattery. I accused you of being the sun in disguise, come to burn us all with beauty. You accused me of having a brain made of pudding, which, fair. But in the end, when you hesitated on a riddle about ducks and destiny, I pounced on your paws like a cat on a string. Victory was mine. And oh, the cape I made you. Layers of peacock, ostrich, and regrettably, one very grumpy goose. You wore it with all the grace of a monarch and all the seething hatred of someone deeply regretting their life choices. But there, in the midst of your indignation, I saw it. The spark in your eyes, the way your lips twitched with the threat of a smile. And I thought, this is the grandest prize of all. Not the victory, not the feathers, but that single moment where you almost laughed with me. And I would duel you again every day just to see that. Now, love, imagine yourself in that scene, cloaked in absurd feathers, parading through a marble hall, while courtiers gasp and giggle behind their fans. Imagine me by your side, plucking a feather from your shoulder and tucking it behind your ear, just so I could say, you're crowned by folly itself. There, doesn't that thought feel like a warm blanket? A bit ridiculous, yes, but comforting all the same. That's my role, my dearest. To wrap you in nonsense until the world feels lighter, your eyelids heavier, your breath deeper. I'm still here, still watching over you. And I'll keep whispering, keep telling you stories, until even your stubborn mind gives in to the weight of sleep. So rest, love. Rest and know that your Jester is right here, feathers and all, keeping the shadows entertained while you drift away. Sleep now, my monarch, or I'll start composing odes to your feet. And no one wants that. Speaking of odes, I've actually drafted a few in my head, not to your feet, mind you. That was an empty threat, for now. But to your laugh, the sound of it, bright and sudden, like a bell tolling in a tower that hasn't rung in years. I've been known to chase it, you know, like a hound on the scent. I'll tumble, I'll prattle, I'll balance spoons on my nose if that's what it takes to hear that particular melody again. There's power in your laughter, did you know that? Once, when I made you laugh during a particularly dreadful banquet, the chandeliers themselves seemed to tremble with delight. Even the stern-faced ambassadors, who had all the charm of wilted cabbage, cracked smiles, a ripple of warmth, all because you allowed yourself a moment of joy. That's the kind of magic no sorcerer can summon. Not even the Fey Lords with their silver tongues and enchanted trinkets. You wield it effortlessly, unaware of the spell you cast, each time you forget the weight of your crown and simply live. And here I am, your devoted Jester, hopelessly addicted to that magic. If I could bottle it, I'd wear it around my neck like a talisman, a ward against dreary days and sleepless nights. I suppose, in a way, your presence is already that charm. That thought alone is enough to keep me steady when the nights stretch too long and the world grows too quiet. But I must confess, I have a selfish wish. One day, when the halls are empty and the courtiers have retired, I'd like to hear you laugh for me, and me alone. Not because of a jest, not for show, but because something about me, this fool in motley, makes your heart lighter. Wouldn't that be a grand thing? A private joy, ours and ours alone. Though I suppose I'd better prepare for that day. Perhaps I should start compiling my best material. I have a fine collection of riddles, though some involve suspiciously cooperative ducks. And my impressions, oh, don't get me started. My impersonation of the royal steward has been banned from court functions after the last incident. But it was worth it to see you nearly spit your wine in shock. I've also been dabbling in shadow puppetry. Yes, truly. In the glow of candlelight, my fingers can conjure whole armies, fantastical beasts, and the occasional questionable rabbit. Admittedly, my dragon looks a bit like a disgruntled cat, but imagination does the rest. Perhaps one night, when sleep has claimed the rest of the world and you find yourself restless, I'll perform for you. Just us, a single candle, and the flicker of shadows playing across the walls. I'll spin a tale with nothing but my hands and my voice. And when you finally doze off, I'll keep the candle lit a while longer, letting the shadows dance until even I forget where my hands end and dreams begin. Ah, the things I'd do to keep you entertained, love. A fool's devotion knows no limits, after all. And in the quiet of night, when the castle stones themselves seem to sigh, I find a strange peace in this, knowing I am here, beside you, a whisper in the dark, a shield against the gloom. You make even my madness feel like purpose. And isn't that the finest trick of all? Madness or not, I'll gladly wear it like a badge if it means remaining at your side. After all, what is a jester without a beloved sovereign to entertain? A shadow without a sun, a bell without a breeze. But with you, with you I am more than painted smiles and clever words. I am necessary, and that, love, is the sweetest folly of all. You know, sometimes I wonder what the court would say if they saw us like this. You in your sanctuary of soft pillows and midnight sighs, and me, the ridiculous fool, perched close, whispering stories and spinning dreams from nothing but air and affection, the courtiers would faint dead away from the scandal of it all. Let them clutch their pearls and fan their faces. They don't know what it means to cherish someone in the hush between heartbeats. They've never seen you like this, have they? Loose and quiet, your mind unwinding like a ribbon pulled free. To them, you are always the monarch, sharp, poised, formidable. But I see, beneath the layers, I see the soft ache of your shoulders, the flicker of tiredness in your gaze, the way your breaths slow when you finally let yourself trust the dark. And that, my dear, is an honor greater than any title. In truth, I think that's why I can't stop talking. If I fell silent, I'd have to confront the fullness of this moment, the enormity of being trusted with your most unguarded self. And that, for all my bravado, is terrifying in its own way. But I've never been one to shy from fear. No, I waltz with it, cheek to cheek, bells ringing merrily with each step. If loving you in this quiet, sleepless hour makes me a fool, then crown me twice over and let the court gossip till their tongues fall off. Still, even fools need respite. My voice grows husky, my words heavier, as if sleep has begun to claim me too. But I'll resist, for your sake. I'll keep the shadows company while you drift. You're warmer now. I can feel it in the air between us, the tension easing, your breath smoothing out. That's good, love. That's very good. It means my mission is nearly complete, but not yet. Not just yet. I'll stay because I want to. Because there's nowhere else in the realm I'd rather be than here, basking in the quiet glow of your presence. And when morning comes, because it always does, I'll still be your fool. No court, no crown, no whispers in the hall can change that. My place is here, at your side, where I belong. I wonder, my love, if you've ever truly felt the depth of your gravity, not just as a monarch, not as a sovereign to be obeyed, but as you, the quiet pull you exert without even knowing. You draw me in, closer, deeper, until even my bones feel anchored by your presence. A willing prisoner in the soft prison of your nearness. I used to roam, you know, a wanderer by nature, one court to the next, a tumble of jests and tricks, never staying longer than a season. The life of a fool is transient, like a carnival that springs up overnight and vanishes by morning. I thought myself a comet, dazzling and fleeting. But then there was you with your eyes that caught me mid-flight. Suddenly, I didn't want to streak across the sky and burn out in a blaze. I wanted to linger, to revolve around you, caught in your orbit, content to be a moon to your sun. And here I remain. Strange, isn't it, that a fool of all creatures would find something worth staying for? But how could I leave when the very air is sweeter near you, when the dark itself feels less lonely, just because you exist within it? Some might call that devotion. Others might say it's madness. Me? I think it's both, wrapped up in motley and bells, humming quietly in the dark like a song only I know. There are nights I imagine what life would have been had I not crossed your path. What halls I might have haunted, whose laughter I might have chased. But the truth is, no fancy banquet, no glittering stage, no roaring crowd could ever match the quiet majesty of being here, with you, speaking into the hush, holding space for your breath, your dreams. It humbles me, love. And you know how rarely I admit to being humbled. Yet here I am, disarmed by your closeness, stripped of my antics, just a man in the dark, whispering to the one person who makes the night worth enduring. So let me stay just a while longer. Let me fill this silence with the rhythm of my voice, so your mind doesn't wander where it needn't, so your heart remembers it's not alone, even in the vastness of night. For you, I'll always be here. Foolish, yes. Devoted entirely. And I dare say, yours in all the ways that matter. You know, if the stars could speak, I imagine they'd envy me. Up there, scattered and distant, they burn for centuries, yet never touch what they gaze upon. But me, I'm here, close enough to catch the tremble of your breath, to hear the faint sighs you don't even notice escaping you. That's a privilege no star can claim. They might glitter and boast from their cold thrones in the sky, but they don't know what it's like to feel the warmth of someone slowly surrendering to sleep beside them. To feel that trust, fragile and precious as spun glass, settling between heartbeats. They shine, yes, but I belong here, at your side, in this sacred dark. Sometimes I think the night itself conspires with me, wrapping us in shadows so no one else can intrude. The world narrows to this, your breath, my voice, the soft rustle of sheets when you shift ever so slightly, the sound of safety, the sound of home. If I could bottle this feeling, love, I would. I'd wear it like a charm around my neck, a talisman against the day's noise and the court's endless schemes. They can keep their power, their intrigue, their clever little plots. I have this moment, and that is treasure enough. And what a curious treasure it is, silent, unseen, but heavier than any crown. The weight of being needed, even if only to whisper nonsense in the dark. Not the kind of legacy bards would sing about, perhaps, but I'll take it over all their golden tales. I wonder if you'll remember this when the sun returns. If any of these words will linger like the ghost of a melody you can't quite place. Or maybe they'll slip away with the morning light, as fleeting as mist. That's all right. I didn't speak them to be remembered. I spoke them to keep you company, to fill the spaces that worry tries to claim when the world grows quiet. And if I can do that, if I can be your shield, your comfort, your jester turned sentinel, then I've done enough, more than enough. So rest, my love. Sink deeper, knowing I'm still here, still watching, still entirely yours. And now, my love, we near the edge of the night, where dreams stretch out their hands and the world softens into something quieter, something gentler. I can feel it in the air between us, the way the stillness has deepened, like a velvet curtain slowly drawing closed on the stage of wakefulness. If I could, I'd stay in this moment with you forever. Just here. Just like this. No court. No kingdom. No duties or daylight. Only the hush. The warmth. The pulse of your presence beside mine. But I know better. Morning will come as it always does, peeking through the shutters like a nosy neighbor. And you'll rise, wrap yourself in the armor of day, and I'll become once more the fool by your side, bright, brazen, and insufferably clever. Yet here, in this fragile space between dusk and dawn, I am simply yours. No masks, no motley, just a man with a voice low and steady, guarding the gates of your sleep with all the devotion a heart can hold. And as your breaths grow slower, steadier, I imagine your dreams blooming just beyond reach. Gardens where laughter grows on trees, where rivers murmur riddles, and the sky is stitched with silver thread. I hope I'm there too, somewhere in that dreamscape, chasing you through groves of starlight, making you laugh until your ribs ache, until you forget entirely why the waking world ever made you weary. That's my greatest ambition, you know. Not fame, not fortune, but to live in that secret place inside you where peace resides, to be the hand you reach for in dreams, the voice that feels like home. I can feel you slipping, darling, your body heavier, your mind floating free. Good, that's good, that's where you should be. I'll stay right here, a silent sentinel, until the last flicker of wakefulness leaves your eyes, until the night claims us both in its gentle embrace. Sleep now, my heart. Sleep knowing that you are adored, that you are safe, and that your fool, your devoted, ridiculous, insufferably besotted fool is never far, I'm here. I'm always here. Sweet dreams, my love.